Hello and welcome to another video. So today we're taking a look at a RuneCraft deck. This one is a kind of Mecha rune style deck, mostly Mecha rune. It does use the Despondent Chimera as well, which is one of your more major cards, and also of course Truth's Adjudication. This deck is very hit or miss, but it was something interesting that I wanted to give another go. We've tried similar decks for rotation, and I wanted to give Unlimited a fair chance, so we're going to get right into this and take a look. So the first game for this video is going to be against Swordcraft.
Time to shine, Daria.
That doesn't really shock me at all. Swordcraft is a very common unlimited matchup. Mystic Ring is really the only card in this entire deck that I feel a little awkward using. It's a okay one-drop card, but I feel like it's more clunky than anything, which is a little disappointing. There's not a lot of cards I like to use it on that return. Typically I just kind of throw it on whatever I think might be okay to put back into the deck for now, to focus on getting a spell boost out of it, but that's really it. So I am a little disappointed to use that a lot of the time. I would definitely consider swapping it out for a better potential spell, I think. So don't really have another play. We get another Mystic Ring, which is a little sad. This time, Sky Saber and using the Leods to trade. Really need a follower. Getting, of course, Sapphire Rebel is good. Tetra does a wonderful job of comboing with the amulet. The only real problem I've had with this deck is filling our hand very easily with low-cost spells and then not being able to use as many as I'd like. I at least get to use a few though, so that's good. Especially now that we have double Despondent Chimera. So our spell boosts are the most important things here. Being able to use those spell boosts to your advantage is always important. So insight into Mysterious Knowledge, into a Circle. I would have preferred a Missile, but Circle will have to do. We can also use a Healing, Mystic Ring, Fate's Hand. We do have quite a few options as far as cards go to play. Do decide to send the Mechanized back to the deck, gaining even more spell boost. It's the only real way I could work a way to use that card. And also we do end up left with 8 cards, which is fine. We don't end up being overdrawn, which is good. Insight, going to of course take advantage of that. And any other draw we can get. This is one good thing about this deck, it's so heavy on draw power that you're really never out of options. It's usually just a matter of using whatever you can to your advantage. And again, we've now done massive amounts of spell boost compared to our last look at them. So having 11 on Truths and having 10 on Despondent is pretty insane. And we could actually go for the 12 with Despondent if we play the Repair into the Fiery, since that will boost Despondent to 12. I did decide against that though and ended up sending out the weaker Despondent since we can't kill off the 5/5 and I didn't want to waste Fiery on the weaker follower. So I decided to take the long way around for now, which I feel like was definitely the right move considering our situation. Although it's definitely rough, since they get a very easy removal of pretty much everything on board. Now my only chance is to go for the Fiery Embrace, kill off the 8/7 since it is the bigger follower, use the Despondent, go face a little bit, and then probably just Wind Blast this out. We can also throw, of course, Repair Mode down for the extra boost, since God knows what we were going to draw, and I'd like to be able to use something with Truth's Adjudication. This ward though is definitely crippling me, especially with an Evo. It's not what you want to see. So our best chance now is these Truth Adjudications. We have 16 on one and 7 on the other, so we've just got to hope that we get a really nice spread of damage and buffing. Ideally I'd kill them right now, but 9 is pretty good. And having an 8/8 definitely makes it harder. Although, of course, not impossible. So with 4 health left, Truce Adjudication is our only option. I did go for Freshman first, hoping for a cheap card. I did get Wind Blast, so we do get another boost onto our Truce Adjudication. And 5, just what we needed to, of course, finish this match. So while this deck can be very fickle, it is definitely a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun playing it. I wouldn't recommend it if you're looking for decks to craft, but if you've already got cards to play it, don't give it a go, see how you go. Maybe try to work some of your own stuff in and see how things play out. So this is an okay hand. Insight, Tetra, and Fate's Hand in your opener isn't bad, especially when you can go, of course, turn 1 Insight. It's always one of the best rune plays. We end up with Mysterious Knowledge as well, so it's actually okay. Ideally another 1-drop would have been perfect, but we'll take what we can get here. Now our opponent hasn't played anything yet, obviously suffering from a lack of draw. Since we don't really have anything else to do, Fate's Hand it was. Abomination Awakened. That makes things a little more interesting. So a core and a Mystic Ring. And now just drawing another Mystic Ring anyway. At least it was a cheap play. So the spell boost on the Truth was worth it. Since Truth Adjudication seems to be our biggest card to play right now. And there's the Despondent, at least it's in our hand. And since we do have the Robogolem Evo, we are going to be able to use these to our advantage. So double Insight. A nice Mystic Ring on one of the Freshmen lose. And we can still, of course, play the Mystic, or we can go for the Mecha Wing. Either option is good for us now. Mostly the Mysterious Missile, though, of course, since removing that follower is more important. And our opponent really didn't do anything, which, not that great, considering. So we just flood the board with whatever I can get my hands on. Try and get a couple of decent cheap spells to use. Since we do need to still bring that spell boost up on the Despondent Chimera. And the Truce Adjudication. Abomination Awakened again, at least this time. There's no way for them to wipe the board with it. So it definitely was running on the slower side, so no wonder that they were, you know, trying to play from behind. It doesn't surprise me they did end up conceding in the early stages. I admit they still could have had a chance there in that last game, but once you get to that point with those abominations, and if you're not taking advantage of wiping the board with them, you can definitely suffer pretty heavily, and it can become very difficult to make a comeback, especially against someone who's already flooded the board a couple of times with things, especially Sapphire, where you have to trade into that. You can't leave it up because you can't risk the play point gain. So definitely not a surprise that was ended up being a concede. It was reasonably predictable it was going to happen within a turn or two if they didn't end up with something crazy. So if you guys did enjoy this video, do hit the like button and subscribe for more content. You'll find this deck list in the description below. Until next time, guys, see ya.